Hello everyone, I'm immigration attorney Andres Mejer. In the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to be answering recently asked questions from our social media channels to help you have an easier immigration journey. We also had many questions about advance parole and DACA since USCIS is now accepting applications on those again, as well as a few others. If you have a question you'd like to have answered, post them below and I may talk about them in a future video. If you don't know me, my name is Andres Mejer. I'm an immigrant like my clients and many of you. I worked hard to become a US citizen. My family was a victim of immigration fraud when I was a child, so I decided to help others as an attorney so that didn't happen to them. My number one goal is to make your life as my client better than it was before you met me. As I said, today I'm going to answer questions we've been getting on our pages. As a public safety announcement, this is not a private page. That means it is public and anyone can see it. If you don't want immigration or anyone else to see the things you are posting here, please don't post them. Contact us privately. If you are the victim of abuse, please don't use your real name or a recognizable photo. Your number one goal should be to stay safe. DACA and advance parole. We've had many questions about DACA. I was lucky enough to be on several phone calls with Alejandro Mayorkas, who led USCIS when DACA was put into place. He is the person that President-elect Biden has picked to be the head of the Department of Homeland Security. He worked for USCIS under the Obama administration, and I think he's an excellent choice. Plus, he will be the first immigrant and Latino in charge of that agency if he is confirmed. In the call, Mr. Mayorkas explained it very clearly, and you must meet the criteria as it's outlined in the law, in the policy, in order to be eligible. There are no exceptions. The criteria is the following. 1, you had to have entered the US before you were 16 years old, as proven by travel records, school records, or medical certificates or other documentation. 2, you must be under 31 years old on June 15, 2012. That means you were born on or after June 22nd, 1981, as proven in your birth certificate, which needs to be translated into English and certified. 3, you must have lived in the US continuously from June 15, 2007 until now, meaning until you file. And you can show proof of staying in the US using tax returns, photos, school records, medical records, letters from friends and family with legal status in the US. 4, you must have been physically inside the US on June 15, 2012, and you didn't have legal status on that date. 5, you must be in school, have graduated from high school, have your GED, or about to get your GED. If you're still in school, you can provide your school transcript and the target date of graduation. If you never went to school in the US or you didn't graduate from high school, you can register for either a class to learn English as a prerequisite to completing the GED or by enrolling directly in a GED program. 6, you can't have committed any serious crimes or 3 or more misdemeanors. If you were arrested for any reason, you need to discuss your situation with a qualified immigration attorney before filing for DACA. If you were convicted of a serious crime or have one pending, you should not apply until the case is resolved. Those convicted of crimes may only apply by filing a post-conviction relief motion and changing that conviction. We had someone say that their friend was born in 1979, so they didn't think she qualified, and that's correct. Unfortunately, she doesn't. We had another viewer whose mom met all the criteria, but she doesn't have a high school diploma or GED, and she's not in school. Unfortunately, she won't qualify either. We recommend she start getting her GED ASAP. We had someone ask us if we knew of anyone with a drug conviction that was approved for DACA. It's hard to say without more information. A drug conviction will always disqualify you, but we recommend you speak with a qualified immigration attorney and determine if there's something that can be done. You may be able to reopen and undo a drug conviction before applying for DACA. We have done it for others. It depends on the situation. We also had someone ask if they could translate their own birth certificate themselves. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Every translation requires a certification about the authenticity of the translation, which must be included with a copy of the original document and the translation. I recommend you have someone else do it, even if it's a family member. It's the officer's discretion to accept the translation or not. Don't give them a reason to doubt you. Along with DACA, we also have had several people ask about advance parole. Most asked if they should apply for it if they have DACA. Briefly, yes, you should. I have explained in a video where I talk about why, but real quickly, I'll say it again. The reason you have DACA is because you don't have a legal status. DACA doesn't give you a legal status. It just keeps you from being deported, and it gives you work authorization. Chances are you probably entered the US illegally, right? So if you get advance parole and you leave the US, when you come back in, you now have a legal entry to the US. With legal entry plus a US citizen spouse or a US citizen child over 21, you can get your green card. Now, that's not true in every part of the US, and the law is changing on this subject, so you got to be careful. But the benefit to doing that is you won't need a waiver, or you won't need to leave the US in order to get your green card. We've had several people ask if getting advance parole was a guarantee they would not be stopped at the border, or if it guaranteed they'll be allowed to come back into the United States. I've also talked about this before, but hey, until you're a US citizen, there is never a guarantee that you're going to be allowed to come back into the United States. Every time you enter, you will go through customs, and every time a customs agent can decide if they will or will not let you enter. That is true for any visa or green card holder. This only changes when you become a US citizen. Is it likely you'll be allowed to enter the US with advance parole? Yes. Is it 100% certain or something anyone could guarantee? No. We are happy that so many of you enjoyed our video on what we think about the amnesty program with President-elect Biden. To be clear, this has not yet happened. We haven't seen any written language about this except from his website, and we can't give you specific answers because no one has them yet. We don't even know that an amnesty program will be adopted by the US, particularly if the Republicans continue to control the Senate. Do we think the US needs it? Yes. As soon as we find out more, we'll let you know. We had a viewer who asked if we thought if the 3 or 10-year ban would ever be reformed. I presume that you mean you're asking, will it go away? For those that don't know, if you've been in the US without legal status for a certain period of time, either 180 days or 365 days, if you leave the US, you are barred from re-entering for 3 or 10 years unless you file and receive a waiver. If you return without a waiver, you could be barred for 10 years, and there is no waiver for that second entry. Now, this is an interesting question. I don't think there's been any discussion about removing it. I know that this was asked under our amnesty video, so I'm presuming you thought maybe this would happen in the context of amnesty. If you are inside the US, it might. If you've been banned from the US and are no longer living here, I don't see that changing. I don't see amnesty helping you. If you have a 3 or 10-year ban, there are waivers that our law office has been successful with for clients depending on their situation. I would talk to a qualified immigration attorney to see if one of those might be an option for you. We have 2 final questions tonight. One was more of a statement. We had some individuals that felt like we should have given them a free consultation, and they said that other attorneys offer one. Let me clarify. We do offer a no-cost consultation for those who qualify. What that means is if you are eligible for a legal status, you will probably qualify for a no-cost consultation. If you don't qualify, we will tell you in our initial phone call, and you don't need to come in and have any additional meetings with our team for the benefit of figuring out, hey, is there a plan? Is there an option for you? If you already have an immigration attorney, then you're looking for a second opinion, or you've already met with us with a free no-cost consultation previously, you usually won't qualify for a second. We will meet with you. If you want to meet with us, we will meet with you, but you will then be paying for our time. We have over 15 years of legal experience, me personally, and we know we provide a great value for what we charge. And if that's important to you, you'll find the money. The last question was from one of our viewers on Facebook, Shonda. Shonda asked if it was faster to get a fiance visa versus getting married to get her fiance a green card and come to the United States. Shonda, thank you for your comments and watching our videos on Facebook. We really appreciate your support. Right now, with this administration and COVID, many people who have applied for a fiance visa, a K-1 visa, have not been able to see each other since before March 2020. That's over 9 months. When COVID is not in the picture, with a K-1 visa, you're usually able to be together sooner and stay together while the green card application is being processed. As opposed to what's happening now, you need to get married outside of the US, then you return to the US and apply for your spouse, and your spouse has to wait until the green card is approved before he or she can enter the US. We created a video discussing the difference between getting married for a green card or green card through fiance process. We will link it below. That's all for tonight, folks. I hope you found this helpful. If you have questions you'd like to have answered, please post them below. Stay healthy and be well.